Welcome to the V8 Veterans round number 10 tonight. Thanks to Quantum 10 Solutions. We are live from Okayama as we grid up for tonight's race. The big boys, the split one event. Mark Duggan will start from pole position. Greg Favell alongside Nitschke returns to P3 on the grid with Stuart Hall. Then it's Steve alongside him. Then Steve Varga and Smart, Preston and Spriggs with McKnight 9th and McCune. Rounding out your top 10 on the grid tonight. 11th will be Jeff Thomas with Matt Vanderkrant out of P12. Welcome aboard tonight to the second page of the grid. It's Mr. Dumbrell with Michael Stewart as an all HSR lockout there on the 7th row with Greg Sharp, Crosby behind, Gamble and Kennedy back there in 18th, and it's Friend and Brenton O'Brien rounding out your top 20. 21st on the grid, FRG's Rue Koistra with Dan Hall. Then it's Tim Nickel and Marty Hansen at a 24th tonight in this big grid of cars. 25th will be Stephen Banks, Damien Kanzer, Visma and Byrne in 28th, and it's Shannon and Chris Barrage running out your top 30. Dean Favell will start from 31st with Darren Goosey, Andrew Ritchie there, and of course Mark Horton at the back with our race control and Dave Coleman in there ready to do the duties if we need the safety car tonight. Well, let's take you down to the racetrack where the drivers, Mark Duggan with another pole position. Fantastic effort once again. And he's been on fire. He'll definitely be one to watch out for tonight. And we just wait for the final couple of drivers to load in now. Let's get rid of the music. G'day Keith, g'day Andrew, g'day Jacob, and everyone over on YouTube as well. We'll get to some comments shortly. Quick run in tonight, straight down to the V8 Supercars here for the V8 Veterans. All the drivers over the age of 40. And there's a shot at the back of the grid. You can see, wow, it's going to be an interesting start, isn't it, with this many drivers. There's a shot we'll probably stick with for the green flag. And watch Mark Duggan. Will Greg Favell for Taipan eSports out of P2 get the jump? He is on the inside line heading down towards turn 1 here at Okayama. It's a fantastic, tricky little racetrack to get right, but we're doing a 200-kilometre race tonight. Ben Anthony's in the chat, and we want to wish Ben Anthony very much our heartfelt support as he's not feeling too well. We want him to get better. We love him. Let's get Ben Anthony back into full swing. Let's wait to go green though for this, the split one race, and we are underway in racing for round 10 of the V8 Veterans. Great start at the front. Check out one of the Taipan cars as well. That was who was making a jump? Someone made it. Jeff Thomas in fact made up 2 spots at the start. While Mark Duggan, oh, we got a spinner. Paul Preston's gone off the racetrack and out into the weeds. Tim Nickel, I think, involved in that too. Duggan, Favell and Nitschke, your top 3 as they lead us away. Stuart Hall, Vargas there as well. It was Jason Spriggs, the Taipan car that I saw making up 2 positions off the start. He's done a great job firing himself up into 6th place. Michael Dumbrell up 6 spots into the top 7 for Dumbrell with his teammate McCune up 2 spots. So Dumbrell got the jump on all of them. And Christian Smart and Jamie McKnight of Synergy Sim Racing 1-2, but back in 9th and 10th place, unfortunately, as we watch Mark Duggan head through this twisty little part of the racetrack for the first time. Well, Wayne LeCompa, unfortunately, has had some computer issues. He's dropped out for tonight. And we'll get to that pole time, Bruce, for you a little bit later on tonight. We did have it up on the screen for a moment, but I'll have to go through the qualifying results shortly to be able to give you some of those details. But as we get underway, look at that half a second already. Looking back, there's Spriggs. Great start. Dumbrell starting to put some pressure on there, and that's what we want to see. We want to see drivers really applying the screws in this opening couple of laps while the tyres come up to temperature. Give them a run for their money. There's a shot down the main straight. Check it out. Duggan, Favell, Nitschke's in there as well. Then you got Hall, Vargas, Spriggs, Dumbrell, McCune, Smart, McKnight, Stewart, Thomas, Smart, Sharp, then Crosby, Dan Hall and O'Brien. 2 Evolution Racing Team drivers running neck and neck there as well, down the order a little bit. So whole field goes through, but Mark Duggan has continued his form out in front. Grant says, come on, Vargs. Let's share this stream with a few people tonight. Let's get some people in the chat and make this a party as Dumbrell eyes off a run now at the Taipan eSport. Jason Spriggs. Let's jump on board here with Michael Dumbrell, and for the first time tonight, head over to our driver cameras and we'll pick up Dumbrell first of all. There he is in the chair, right up behind. Almost makes some contact there. You can see the expression on his face. It was close. And now he goes through this tight little twisty section. It's all about short shifting and just keeping the rear tyres from spinning up this early in the race. You do not want to destroy them. this early on. And gee whiz, how loud are these cars tonight, Dumbrell. He's feeling some pressure from Scott McCune as well as he gets a snap of oversteer. Scotty McCune's right behind him and applying the pressure this early on. Let's jump on board with Scotty for Hypersonic Racing. Two of them now up in 7th and 8th position. Will Wilson likes Dumbrell's haircut. He says, looking sharp, sir. He's looking very sharp. As we just see Kuhn's camera's a little bit laggy there tonight. That's all right. He pulls out and has a look at his teammate. His teammate holds position, and for now they hold station. How's the run out in front? Wow, it's a good go for the Nova Motorsport car again. Paul Young, thank you for the stars, and thank you everyone else as well. I missed a few at the start there. Thanks, Keith. 100 stars. Welcome aboard tonight. Paul Young's out tonight. He says, I'm out sick, Luke, so I'll need some focus on my BAR teammates, Preston, Richie, and Shannon. And get well, Paul. We've already mentioned that our maestro of the V8 veterans, our prime leader, Ben Anthony's not feeling well, so we need him to get well, and also Paul Young now. Some people feeling it, and I did go to the trouble to update a few of these team names as Paul Preston sits back there at the moment in 30th place. Now, he lost 23 spots at that first corner drama. We'll try and get you a replay of that as we just settle in here, but he's way back now in the Banter Alliance racing car as I've updated the team names. I wonder if Scott Gamble is involved in that too, because he's also dropped back 15 spots. And Tim Nicol was the one that called out to race control. He's dropped back 10 positions in 23rd place. So wow, Preston out of shape again. These cars tonight, I tell you what, they're ripping my ears off. How's the levels and volumes out there? We've had some issues lately, had to reset everything, and hopefully you can hear me over the top of the cars. We try and get the cars as loud as we can at RACESTARS TV. That's what it's all about. You want to hear V8 Supercars, and that's what I'm going to deliver tonight. JRG27 says, g'day Luke, go Nishki. He's in form once again. The top 5 have held position from where they started. Jason Spriggs maintaining position. Michael Stewart's done a nice job tonight as well. Another of the HSR cars. He's up 3 positions into the top 11. Also giving us full access to his webcam in the VR tonight. So Michael Stewart chasing down some massive names in this series. Jamie McKnight, the next one up the road, as race control just giving a message across there. So we'll just have a listen in. How many pit stops tonight? Well, that's a great question, and I'm glad you've brought that up, Sher. Welcome, Sher, by the way, because Rick Viger did send me some details, and here they are. Big thanks to Rick. I didn't even get to say thank you tonight, Rick. I'll do it now. I'll just quickly type thanks, legend, because he is a legend for giving me these details. But tonight we're going to have 54 laps, 200 kilometres around here, 54 laps, as we just lost Michael Stewart's feed there. We might jump on board with Jamie McKnight whilst we're doing this little chat about strategy. So 54 laps, starting fuel 60 litres, the tank capacity after that 70%, so they can get 77 litres into the tank at the first pit stop tonight. So his maximum fuel burn was 2.9 litres per lap with a starting fuel tank range of 20 to 21 laps. And then the range will be about a 26 to 27 lap there on in. 2 compulsory pit stops, critical laps 1 and 27. So the drivers may split this up tonight. We may see some wily strategies out there. And as Rick said, there'll be a lot of variance in the strategies tonight. So, Christian Smart's wagging the tail. Maddie, thanks for the stars. As always, you're a legend, man. Thank you. Let's jump on board with Christian Smart looking back. McKnight really starting to weave and look around and try and find a way through. At the moment, they're just being dropped slightly as well. It's already 7 seconds. First back to Smart in 9th place. And they'll be keeping a fair old look at that. Definitely, it'll worry them as far as outright pace here. If Smart and McKnight are going flat out, you can see the damage on the left door there of Smart's car. And I would say if these guys are saving fuel in a big way, they're probably okay. But the fact they're already nearly 7.5 seconds back from the lead would put a little bit of a worry into their heads. And I can see Marty Hansen, Tyburn and Goosey having this nice little scrap back in the field as well. This is in 23rd position. And there's a long shot just showing them climb up the hill. It's on camera quite often looks like a pretty flat surface here at Okayama, but I can I'll tell you right now, it's undulating, it's up and down, and there's a couple of big stops as well. And getting it right as we watch Duggan just disappear around the corner. I love this shot. Check it out as they disappear. We'll freeze the camera there. Look at the speed they carry through the right-hander there. Flat out, you can see Stewie Hall, P4. He's doing well tonight, the whole position. Ow, out of line there. That was Greg Sharp swinging across the racetrack, holding Jeff Thomas out at the moment as well. So Jeff Thomas, another driver to give us full access to his webcam again tonight. He's got the, of course, the Racecraft Simulator rig that he won as part of this series. And there he is at the moment. We'll jump on board with him, looking forward towards the next competitor, which is Greg Sharp. And of course, just behind him, we've got Crosby, and Brenton O'Brien's up 5 spots tonight into the top 15 for O'Brien. So the Evolution Racing Team driver is doing very, very well again tonight. So Brenton, Logitech G, good sponsorships on the car. Just hear that track camera is ripping our heads off tonight, so I do apologise, it's a loud one. Oh my gosh. Jokin's in the house as well. How are you, Jokin? Nice to have you here tonight for our, what is it, our 568th broadcast on RACESTARS TV as we ride on board with Damien Cairns, who is another competitor that's given us full access. Horton's asked for race control to have a look at an incident there, so he's had something go on there. So Damien Cairns on-board camera, looking forward at Rue Koistra, who's made up 3 spots into 18th now. So Koistra's on the move. Cairns is on the move up 7, who we're on board with now. And how cool is his room set up now with the bright blue neon? Love it. I know Christine said she had a bit to do with getting that camera angle right. It looks fantastic. Marg's in the house. Margaret Favell says, go Greg. And we've got, is it Dougal as well? Favell? No, sorry, Dougal Foresight says, go Greg Favell. It's good to have some support coming in. Andrew Clark's in the house as well. And Jacob Neasley, he said earlier on tonight, he said, yo Luke, my favourite night of the week is here. Send it McKnight Missile. As always, good to have your support, man. I know Jamie and others, when they get those shout outs in the chat, they absolutely love it too. So thank you. Jokin said, good, thanks Luke, hope you're well. Did you make it up to Bathurst last weekend for the 12-hour? No, I did not. I had to work all weekend. And it's just relentless at the moment, work. I've got to do another Saturday trip to Gosford, Sunday a trip to Cootamundra. It's never ending at the moment. So big days, but big nights in the sim too. Tomorrow night we'll be doing the Split 2 replay before the Wodonga Cards and Parts TV Split 3 show as well. There's a shot from our Marshall showing Duggan the lead at the moment over Greg Favell. Then Nitschke sitting in 3rd. Frog Leap Juice Racing is just holding that position at the moment and pulling away slightly. 1.6 seconds back to Stewie Hall. Then Stephen Varga is the top Synergy Sim racing driver here at Okayama tonight. And how good is he going? He's going really, really well. Let's jump down to the nose camera as he chases on after Stewie Hall, and that gap of 4 tenths of a second to Stewart. He has a big look under brakes. You can see usually if you have a dive down the inside here at the hairpin, you're a little bit slow on the way out. Not too bad though. He got out of there pretty well. There's a shot down from the V8 Vets chopper cam at the Synergy Sim Racing entry. You don't often see the signage on the roof of these cars, so it is a good shot to check out every now and then. The 868 aftershock on the roof, Wave Runner and JK signs in full view there, which is nice to see. And Stuart Hall's the car just in front. He's being chased. He's doing everything he can at the moment to try and catch this Nova Motorsport entrant who's absolutely flying. Will Wilson said Rue's grill is a bit fancy. It changes colour as it goes past the camera. Is that right? Better eyesight than me. I might have to check this out. So this is Rue Koistra's grill. We'll have a little bit of a zoom in on it. There it is. It's got a bit of red tinge behind it. I think that's what you're seeing. There it is there. I'm not sure if it changes colour unless there's some funky settings going on. Right, Mark Duggan out in front though. Is that the same Mark Duggan with the Kelly Racing Supercar look? I couldn't tell you, to be honest. Give him a Google. There's his you can see his picture there. I should have done my research, shouldn't I? Will Wilson says goes from like white to red. Yeah, it's got a bit of a red tinge, I think, behind it. That's what she's saying. Andrew Favell with the stars. Thanks, buddy. hope you're doing well. Greg's doing well tonight. He's P2 and he's actually starting to turn the screws on Mark Duggan. The gap down to 3/10 now. Let's ride on board with Greg Favell and let's just see if he's going to try and push and make an overtake shortly.
Pit lane penalty car 543, so incident on lap 6.
So 543's just been given a pit lane penalty. That's Scott Gamble, sadly for Scott. So Scott's just been issued that pit lane penalty. There it is up on the screen now. We heard race control giving the message across the race control channel. And oh dear, that's not good for Gamble, who already lost out at the start. We might go back and have a look if we can to that little first corner incident. We'll try and pick up where it all went wrong. So this is the start of the race. We'll go back to the Tim Nicol notification that I got. Let's have a look. So we'll slow it down at the point of impact. Oh, Nicol was off into the fence early. This is before it even got anywhere. And I wonder if that's where Gamble got the penalty from. We'll just back that up a little bit. And let's just stop it there. And what we might do is ride on board with Scott Gamble. And here's the shot from his car. Let's have a quick look. This is the replay at the get-go. Oh, so Rue came across and leaned on him a little bit. And Nicol was off into the fence. So I'm not sure if that's where the penalties come from, but that is a replay at the start and all the action that happened there. So what the lap 6 incident was, yeah, I'll go looking for that next. So that was the penalty, wasn't it, for Gamble, and that was to do with the Mark Horton incident. So I think we heard Mark Horton call out to race control to have a look, and this is exactly what went wrong. So there's Gamble. Gamble's going to go around the outside and he's going to come across, is he? Oh no, there's Gamble in behind and he just gives a little bit of a nudge, and Horton was in the fence and the marshal's down there. They're probably thinking, oh, hello, what's going on here? So yeah, he's shaking his head. He's thinking, oh, yep, he's right. Yeah, let him go. It's all good. Yep, carry on. Nothing to see here. Carry on. And Horton gets back out onto the racetrack. But we'll go back to live. There's your lap 6 incident I found for you. Christine with the 100 stars. Thanks, Christine. And great job, like I said before, getting Damien's web camera in the prime position for us. Let's be able to see him in action as he continues to float around out there on the racetrack. Dumbrell up in 7th place. Still can't get by Spriggs in front. Cairns is in the pits at the moment, so he's gone in for his first stop. So he gets a little bit of a chance now to take a breather, probably grab a drink, and into the lane now. So you'll just, in fact, look at them all. There's all the Taipan cars are having a pit party down there. So it's a Taipan eSports pit party. Has been called. Ben Anthony maybe had something to do with this. Maybe they're all on the phone to Ben now. Get well, they're saying. Come on, Ben, we need you. Get back. We need you live in the comms. And the pit party well underway. They're all deciding for this lap 11 pit stop strategy. And well, there's a couple that didn't. One being their new fastest driver, and I hope they don't mind me saying that, but Greg Favell, who signed to this team recently after racing with 76 Racing for a couple of seasons now. Oh, we've got a crash here. O'Brien spun around. There's another one there. Nishki's back there as well. And oh dear. So Brenton's called out to race control now. I wonder if there's been another contact there. And we'll try and find this incident. So Nishki and O'Brien, I think, have got together on lap 11. Let's have a quick look at this one. So Nishki was having a big look at the back of O'Brien. Into the braking zone we go. We'll slow this down at the point of contact. Oh, so Nishki loses the back end, sadly. O'Brien turns in, but he's not going to be able to avoid this. And bang, O'Brien gets turned around. Big shunt, and unfortunately both drivers lose a lot of positions because of that, because they've got to then wait for all the traffic to go through so they can then turn around and get back into the action. So Nishki might get himself a drive-through penalty for that one. It's just a little bit clumsy, unfortunately, and it's taken another driver with him. Generally, it's a slam dunk drive-through penalty. There's Andrew Ritchie and Damien Cairns. Right down there at the moment in 31st place after the pit stop. Cairns, remember, has now taken fuel on for the next, I think it was 27 laps they can fit into the car once they take their first fuel stop. So about lap 37 he'll be due in for his final stop. 54 laps tonight, we're 12 laps in. Pit window's well and truly open if you want to try and get in and get a stop done. So as Stewie Hall goes through. Still holding on to third. Stephen Vargas still the top Synergy Sim racing driver. We don't know. That's what Ben Anthony just said. How did Nishiki get back that far? Sure says good question, which prompts me to then go looking for a little bit of an incident that got him flustered in the first place. So you ask, I deliver. This is what Nishiki did all by himself by the looks of things. Is he going to lose the back end? We won't see that. Yeah, look at that big tank slapper. Big tank slapper for Nishiki. Lucky not to get smashed there. And that's why he dropped so far back in the pack to put himself back with Gamble. Tell you what, don't iRacing do a good job of curating the hills there? Sharp as a Minecraft game. Nishiki takes off, and that's where, look at that, there's O'Brien. So that's where it all began. This is where the battle began between himself and O'Brien, and hence the mistake into the hairpin, which then cost him. So clear that up for you. The big tank slapper was or another pit lane penalty, I think, just being handed out. We'll wait for that to pop up on the screen as Duggan still holds on to a 5/10 of a second lead. The 066 incident on lap 11 gets himself a penalty. So sadly that'll be Nitschke, won't it? So he'll go through the lane, and that will really put a dampener on the rest of his night. So Duggan and Favell have now pulled a gap of 5.6 seconds to the next competitor. So check this out on the track map. Look at that. They're down the pit straight, 1, 2, crossing the line now, 3, 200 or so meters behind, maybe even more. Half the straight basically. Stewie Hall, and Varga goes through now, so Hall just backs out of the throttle. Varga up into third. Game on now for the Synergy Sim racing car. Can he pull away from Stuart Hall and try and catch this lead battle at 6.3 seconds, first back to third? That's a little bit of a worry as Nishiki comes in to serve that drive-through penalty. Dumbrell squirming all over the back of Jason Spriggs now, so let's ride on board with Dumbrell once again tonight. See if we can't see an overtake at the end of this straightaway. He's definitely close enough, needs a good exit now, no wheel spin. Got a little bit of a wheel spin on exit there. You can just hear it bag up slightly, and I think Spriggs there just showing he'll close the door quite easily if Dumbrell makes any attempt. Quite often he can go around the outside there and then fire it down the inside for this next left-hander. It is very, very tough to do so. Always an opportunity. We love it. We love this mid part of the track. There is the 055 hypersonic racing car, looking good from the chopper cam or from the drone camera we've got set up down here. I love the way this racetrack twists and turns, runs back up the hill. You can see the elevation change there as they go up the hill, and they appear through another hairpin. This sequence of hairpins really tests the drivers, and then back down onto the second to last corners. It'd be fantastic to drift through here. I'm sure they do. And then back onto the main straight here at Okayama. But now lap 15 of the race. So lap 15, 10.3 seconds back to the People's Champion. He's having a look on his teammate now, just down the inside. Smart slams the door shut. Says, "You're not coming through yet, Mr. McKnight." Just see the last lap. McKnight took nearly 3/10 out of his time there down the bottom right. Lap 14, minus 2.5 tenths. Good battle. Let's crank up the sound for a half a lap or so and enjoy. Just watch him come through to cross the line. And let's see what the lap difference is this time around. It looks like he's just dropped back slightly this time, McKnight. Probably going to be quite even on the lap time. It's a 1 minute. Is it updates? Come on, update. Here we go. 1 minute 30.0. And he lost a 10th there. 1:23. He lost just over a 10th. That time to Smart closes up again now as we shoot forward. Easy race leader exiting the Arsher says, can the drivers hear your commentary? No, they cannot, unless they're playing the broadcast in an open window where they'd hear it. That's the only chance they would have. And the problem with doing that is there's about a 15-second delay between me being live here and what goes out to you guys on YouTube. It's obviously in sync what you see, but we've noticed a few times when I'm talking in Discord, if they're actually listening to the broadcast, there's about a 15-second difference. So it would get quite annoying probably if they're listening to my commentary at the same time as racing. But I know some of them do, because when we're doing the F3A, for example, when we talk to Christopher Mitchell and that crew, quite often they're listening in. They definitely know I'm watching, so we have this, obviously our driver cameras set up. There they are, all doing their thing at the moment. You can see top left Damien Cairns, then you've got across to the right, we've got Jeff Thomas, Michael Dumbrell middle left, Michael Stewart middle right, and then Scott McCune down on the left at the bottom. A great job as always. Good to see Michael Stewart. There he is, sitting in P10 at this stage in the race. So 17 laps in. I tell you what, it's a quick race tonight. 200 kilometres. Still haven't seen my picture. Everyone's so keen to see my picture. Remember I went to all that trouble of creating the RACESTARS TV studio? I think I've still got it here somewhere. Where is it? There it is. It's a shocker. It looks like the cheapest game show studio set you've ever seen. And then I got COVID, and then I've just not bothered to get the webcam out. I'll get it out for you next week, I promise you. Means I can't broadcast in my undies. Just kidding. It's freezing tonight. It is absolutely freezing down here in the Southern Islands tonight. It's about, it'd be about 2 or 3 degrees, I reckon, right now. It's crazy. Here's Favell still tucking underneath the rear wing of Mark Duggan. I reckon he's playing games here, Greg Favell, tonight. Oh, isn't that sad? You can see Nitschke just behind them. He's actually in 33rd position. He's running third in that order as we look at it, but it's actually Steve Varga way back there in third place. It's a big, what is it, 7.2 seconds now back to third. So Andrew Favell said, yeah, he brushed his original sponsors for the big league. He looks good though, doesn't he, in the new colours? But yeah, we all missed the Abbey Timbers green. It took me ages to get used to this Greg Favell Type N eSports livery. I was too so used to the Abbey Timbers yellow and green. It looked great on him, but I tell you what, he's joined this big team and he's really played a huge role. He'll help the other drivers pull through as well. We've already got Jason Spriggs up there in P6 and into battle again. Look at Jamie McKnight trying to find a way through. It's been a case of follow the leader, hasn't it, for this first stint? But we quite often see this in the V8 veterans. The first stint up until the pit stop is just trying to save fuel. They get behind another car, they tuck in, they don't really want to overtake and burn more fuel than they need to. And then after the first pit stop, and particularly after the second pit stop, gloves are off and we see a massive fight to the flag. Where are you watching from tonight, Dougal? Obviously, as we see a car in the pit, so Mark Duggan's in the lane. Here we go. So pit stops happening now for your race leader. Favell and Varga carry on. Dumbrell, McKnight, Smart, McCune also carry on. So Stuart Hall's gone into the pits as well with Jason Spriggs. And Jason Spriggs a lot later than his teammates, that's for sure, who came into the pits for that little pit party earlier on. As we see Ty Byrne going down the pit straight towards turn 1. in the M1 racing machine. He's right behind his teammate Stephen Kennedy, so they're running nose to tail as well. We're seeing a lot of this tonight. It's Noah's Ark of races tonight. There's the teammates together, 1-2 everywhere. And now we've got Type N eSports leading with Greg Favell, then Synergy Sim Racing, then Hypersonic, then Synergy, then Hyper, then Code to Sim Sports with Greg Sharp back in 8th, then M1, then Angry Birds, then M1, then M1 again, then Old Mates and Sons back there in 13th place. We haven't spoken about them much at all. Then you got Brenton O'Brien for Evolution Racing Team back in 14th, then another M1 car back in the order. Jeff Thomas has stopped. He's currently chasing down Jason Spriggs, who's chasing down Scott Gamble. This is the battle for now 18th. These drivers that have made a pit stop. So we'll bring that up soon for you, the pit stop strategy. Joe can ask, have you got to be in a team or can you be successful as a privateer? You can definitely be a privateer. There's nothing wrong with that at all as Greg Favell stops to cover off Duggan. We'll see where he ends up. Dumbrell, McKnight, McCune and Sharp all stay out. So we're going to keep an eye on this now. He's in the pits. Greg Favell taking fuel. Will he decide to short fuel this? Looking at Mark Duggan, he took 27 seconds worth of fuel and he's just coming up through the tight twisty part now. See if we can get an overhead shot. So here he is through the final couple of corners. And where is Greg Favell? He's still stationary in the pits. He's now up to 27 seconds worth of fuel. He's going to have to get a wriggle on now. He's taking a lot of fuel on board and Mark Duggan goes through. So Duggan goes through, but he's tucked up here behind Chris Barrage. And this may hurt him a little bit, and this is the variance in the fuel stops that we're going to see tonight. So 27.1 seconds worth of fuel for Mark Duggan. Greg Favell, Duggan, he's in a bit of bother here trying to get past this M1 car. And this is costing him crucial lap time on people like Jamie McKnight and others. And he gives him a bit of a bump for good measure too. Says out of the way. And you know what?
Can we have a look at that one, please?
Barrage says, can we have a look at that race control? And you know what? Duggan might get a penalty for that because he's made a bit of contact with the lap car. Or he wasn't a lap car, that was for racing position. But he wasn't so patient there, Duggan, and he may cop himself a penalty. Will Wilson says penalty there, yep. So Barrage gets put back to 17th place, and after all that hard work, Duggan is in 9th. May get himself a little bit of a slap on the wrist. Stephen Varga's in the pits. Look at the pit party now. This is the final 6 go in. Varga, Duggan, McKnight, McCune, Sharp and Crosby all in the lane, and Brenton O'Brien will follow them in, will he? I think he will. O'Brien's just coming down through the final couple of corners now. There he is. So he goes into the lane. Mark Duggan will then come through to retake the race lead. But I was just chopped off there. I was trying to tell you, 27.1 seconds worth of fuel for Duggan, 31.3. So an extra 4 seconds worth of fuel went into the car for Greg Favell. And that will play an important role a bit later on the racetrack. He's only 2.9 seconds behind. That just shows how much Mark Duggan was held up by the M1 car, and ultimately that cost him a lot more with that pit lane penalty possibly looming over his head. Could we see another huge blow up? We'll keep the radio up. I shouldn't. There's the evil laugh. I'll get ready with the mute button if I have to. I've got my all sorted, but we can't really plumb one in for the drivers. So if we get any fruity language, that's just part and parcel of a completely live stream. So definitely a snap on the wrist for that one, says Jacob Measley. Okay, so let's go searching down the field a bit. There's a bit of a battle brewing here between Darren Shannon and Greg Sharp. You've got Dean Favell there as well, with Anthony Visma and Hansen behind them. Then the Banter Alliance car of Andrew Ritchie just in the background. I tell you what, it's a beautiful looking car, isn't it, as Ritchie battles with Dan Hall. This is Evolution Racing Team versus the Banter Alliance, BAR. And Hall is on a mission. Look at those lap times. He's been just taking huge chunks here out of the Banter Alliance car. But I was just saying, how good do they look? This new livery, previously PRA and Emu Sim Racing, have now merged into this new force, BAR. Looks hot out there as the battle for 10th or so with Damien Cairns continues to rage here. And down the inside to have a look, Christian Smart, he gets through. So Christian Smart gets through on Cairns. They go wheel to wheel up to the left-hander now. Smart swings across. He's a little bit wide off the apex. That'll hurt him on exit. Cairns keeps it tight, but ultimately loses out the position to another driver too. The Synergy Sim team are mugging Damien Cairns here, and both Smart and McKnight sneak their way through now and puts Damien Cairns, who are on board with, back to P12. He won't be happy with that, but at the same time, he's in a good position, up 14 spots from where he started tonight, Cairns, so that's decent all in all. Brooke Oyster at the moment, sitting back in 27th place. Sadly for him, he's dropped 6 more positions from where he started. He's after Stephen Banks, and then up the road from that you can see Preston in this new Banter Alliance. Preston's got the he's got some flair on the top of that car. It's very, very nice. Now we're waiting for that race control message, because I think that might be the Duggan incident just being spoken about. We'll wait and see. Oh, look, it is too. Pit lane penalty for Duggan for the incident on lap 20.
Down, he's all over the road.
And race control have handed that out to you. Race leader has been given a pit lane penalty on lap 23 for the incident on lap 21, wasn't it? So that's costly tonight. That will more than certain cost him a race win. And his reply to race control was that he was all over the road when the contact was made, and it's one of those ones, isn't it? It's hard to know. We'll put a quick replay up for you so you can have a look yourselves. This was the incident that ultimately probably cost Duggan a win tonight. So we'll just back it up a little bit. We'll see if we can just maybe run it from there, from the chopper cam, if we can get a bit of a look from there. So we'll slow it down at this point. So this is where Duggan's saying, hey, he's just moving around on the right road. Really, Duggan probably could have gone a bit further to the right, couldn't he? So that there has cost him tonight, as Barrage went straight off into the barrier. That has probably cost him a victory. So that's unfortunate, isn't it? And I'm sure Mark will probably, he carries on for another lap, so he's not going to serve it this lap. But he's got that looming over his head.
On the straight.
In the background you can see Dumbrell, P3. He's up 10 spots, still holding on nicely. So we look out the back of Michael Dumbrell's car. Jason Spriggs is there. Then Jeff Thomas has moved his way up into the top 5 now. So that's an interesting little feat. Remember, he stopped lap 16. It dropped him way down the order, but he now finds himself in a pretty decent position. 11 seconds off the race lead. Now he put only 22 seconds. I was wondering how he skipped up so high. He only took 22 seconds worth of fuel. So I'll show the pit strategy board, and that probably doesn't tell you much of a story. But if we complement that on the left-hand side with the amount of time that they actually used in the pit lane to take fuel, and I'll read those numbers out because in our new whiz font here it's a little bit hard to read. I'll run down the list, but Thomas, you can see 22.4 seconds worth of fuel. Now he's amongst a couple of other drivers there that took 23 seconds, 31 for Favell. So Greg Favell's fueled big time now. And so Stephen Varga. McKnight took 32 seconds. And compare that to Stewart, only 21 seconds as Duggan goes through to serve that pit lane penalty. So heartbreak for him. But that's motor racing. That little mistake has cost him tonight. So Favell goes into the lead. Duggan second. Spriggs for Taipan eSports now finds his way up into third. Jeff Thomas elevated up into fourth now. Behind him, Hall, Varga, Stewart's in tow. And it's a long, long look back. You can see in the background there. There's Duggan just coming out of the pit. So where did Duggan come out? Just ahead of McKnight. Yeah, how's this for a battle? And he's sideways as well. On board with Duggan. McKnight's going to be right on his door, and there goes Jamie McKnight. So Jamie McKnight slips through down the inside, and there you go. Duggan back to 10th, and here's a fight looming. Jamie McKnight, with 8 championships to his name, now has Mark Duggan very, very fired up and on his tail. Jokin says, was that car that Duggan was overtaking a lap down or for position? It was actually for position. So because Duggan had stopped and the other car hadn't, Barrage had not stopped yet. So I put Duggan out just behind that car and it was just slowing him up slightly through turn 1, 2 and 3. And he's getting a little bit impatient. So definitely no blue flags involved though. And hence it's a pretty much a slam dunk penalty every day of the week, that one. So, oh, we got a car off the track. It's Root Koistra, and he's calling out to race control. So there's been something happen here for Roo. Is he stuck on the fence there? No, he's just on the grass, so he gets it going now. I wonder if he didn't just get turned around by someone as well. So usually the call out, Stephen Kennedy was the other car in that little mix. Let's have a look at a replay on this one. So here's Koistra. Kennedy from a long way back if they're going to make contact here. Is Koistra just going to get sideways and lose it? He's just going to lose it. So I think he was actually probably just saying sorry to Kennedy for that little bump, and then he has to just hang there. So unfortunately Rue's done that all by himself. He drops back further now to 31st place. Back with your race leader in the gap, 5.2 seconds over Dumbrell. This is looking beautiful for him tonight. Let's jump back to Jamie McKnight. Christian Smart and Duggan's just dropped back a bit now from this Synergy Sim Racing battle. Out of the two drivers in front, Duggan's. So you got Christian Smart, who took 31 seconds worth of fuel. McKnight took 32. Mark Duggan only took 27, so he's going to probably need to save a bit of fuel to shorten up that final pit stop tonight. It's I love this variance we've got in the strategies now since they've just changed the fuel. It used to, I think, maintain the starting fuel at each pit stop, but now they can actually fill it to a higher amount for the second, or for the first and second pit stop, which just changes the way people think a little bit, which is very good. It's ever evolving. Brenda, thanks for the stars. Hope you enjoying this tonight. Greg's back in the lead. On board with the Synergy Sim Racing driver Christian Smart. They've been basically matching lap times, these two. And you've got Mark Duggan, then Scott McCune back there as well. There's 4 cars in a row here. All of them carry enough pace to win races. And this time is McKnight going to have a look down the inside of his teammate. He's definitely going to have a run. Smart will try and hang up around the outside and then punch it down on the inside, but Duggan's going to get involved too. And McKnight's got through there, and he's got through there quickly. Great job. Jamie McKnight moves his way up into 8th place now, so that was a textbook overtake. Job done. And Duggan got through on Smart as well in that little sequence of corners, so good overtake. Look at the small screen replay on that one. He lined him up from a long way back, sent it down the inside. At that moment I thought, okay, Smart will just play this easy and he'll go around the outside and punch it. But he went very wide up onto the ripple strip. I think that's what cost him. By then, McKnight was, see you later, alligator. He was out of there. Now McCune has also got a good run on Christian Smart. So Smart's struggling here on lap 28. We're at the halfway point of this race, or just beyond, isn't it? So moving on quickly now, and very good. So you want to get a rear shot looking back at Rue's car. Well, he has to get close to someone for me to do that. I know what you mean. You want to see that front grille. Let's see if we can, if we see him close to someone else, we'll try and hook up that shot for you. Will. Easily like that overtake, he says, the goat. McKnight missile, go the goat, he says. I tell you what, he's got some competition these days, doesn't he? Remember the first couple of seasons we broadcasted fair events, you could almost put your house on McKnight taking a win, and if not a win, a P2. These days, he's up there top 10. But we've got constant rotating restaurant of different drivers that have been taking victories here in the V8 Fest. It's been great. Favell and Crosby are battling down here in 18th place. Crosby gets right up underneath Dino's rear wing. You can see Dan Hall for Evolution Racing Team just in front as well. Love the Dino livery on this car, looks great. Fires his way down towards the final couple of corners over our curb cam, and we'll jump on board with Dean Favell. Looking out the back at the M1 Racing, Darren Crosby. Down the pit straight we go. Crosby's been taking some chunks out of his lap. Will he go down the inside this time? No, he just hangs back. It's not this time, Dino. I'll let you do another lap in P18. Up 13 spots, Dean Favell tonight. Flavel. Got to get my Flavels and my Favels right. There's a big difference. Dean doing a great job down here in the 880 green and black DF eSports car under pressure, and you can see behind him Craig Friend, we haven't spoken about yet tonight. The old mates and sons entrant the 696. P20's dropped one spot from where he started as well tonight. I think it's is it Dino or Dino? It's Dino the Dean Dinosaur. How does that sound? Dean Flavel in the Dino Dinosaur car. That's a good question, Will. I'm probably messing it up. Dino car looks good. Back up with Jeff Thomas now, currently sitting in 4th place. Remember, he'll have a long pit stop coming his way at the second set of stops. Now we're expecting that for him. Lap 16 plus 27 means around lap, what's that, 43? Is my maths correct there? I think it is, around lap 43. So we're about 13 laps off that stop. So he'll be able to just hold on to this 4th place for now, but he'll then have Stuart Hall, who took about 5 or 6 seconds extra fuel. He'll be able to knock off that 5 or 6 seconds in the pit stop, which means he'll jump him at this stage, and in fact he may even jump Jason Spriggs as well. So Stuart Hall looking good for Nova Motorsports. Jump back up there as, we see Stephen Farger go down the inside and get the job done on Stu Hall. Just saw speaking about him, this is good. And around the outside, Stuart Hall hangs in on the inside there. He's trying to make this work. They almost make contact. Oh, wow, good run there, Varga. That was fantastic. And Varga holds onto that position, but they went wheel to wheel through that sequence of corners and put a lot of trust in each other. Stephen Varga held his nerve and he took the position away from Hall. So he goes up into 5th place. Now he can get on after Jeff Thomas. Great overtake. Lap 31 of 54. Ben Anthony not with us tonight. We'll give him another shout out. I'm not sure if he's still watching, but big shout out to Ben Anthony, not feeling well at all. We've got to get behind him, and hopefully he's better and back on board with us tomorrow night. Rest up, my friend. He does so much for this league in the background, and I don't know how he does or what he does to organise over 100 drivers, make sure they're all doing the right thing, and make sure everything's sorted each week with all the different sessions he has to put up. It's a massive job. Greg Favell slicing his way through the lap cars here, so he's just overtaken 32nd Dean Flavel. Now he's got Chris Barrage next up the road to try and get through. So I'll tell you what, I'll be fixing the audio on that camera for tomorrow night. It was a stationary camera before. I think it's because I've pushed it over to be a car tracking camera that it's actually so loud. It's a ripper. Righto, so let's just take a moment now to pause and look at this race from a big picture. Greg Favell in the box seat. Remember, he long fueled, so he's got 32 seconds worth of fuel roughly in the car at the first stop. Dumbrell took 23, so Dumbrell's on that, let's call it an alternate strategy, as Stuart Hall goes into the pits, does he? He does. So Stuart Hall's gone very early, and we are at that window now. Remember earlier on in the race I gave Rick Feiger's statistics. He said the critical laps was lap 1 and lap 27. From lap 27, you can fuel the car to the end here. You've got to take a lot on board, but you can fuel it to the end. And that's what Stuart Hall's doing here on lap 32. So he'll take his second and final stop now. It'll drop him down the order. He's nearly 10 seconds worth of fuel on board now, and he's already dropping well outside the top 20. He drops off the jacks now. He took only 14 seconds worth of fuel. So that's interesting. It's a very short second stop required here tonight. And Stephen Kennedy tries to go around the outside. You've got Scotty Gamble, who took a penalty, didn't he, at the start of the race? An incident at the very start. He's in 26th place tonight. Spoke about Scott a bit over the last few weeks from his elevation from split 3 to split 2, now back in split 1, running around with Brenton O'Brien in tow. So the teammates here, 26 and 27. How good are the cars? Look, the Logitech cars. Picturesque. Onto the back straight they go. We're on board with Brenton O'Brien. The question is, who's going to pull the trigger now out of the top drivers to come in and fuel up? A lot of them are probably just hanging by for a safety car. We haven't seen a safety car. We didn't have one last week, did we, in the top split? I think it was flag to flag. And I think these guys are thinking maybe one's due. They don't want to stop too early in case they're caught out. Ultimately, they all just want to pile in when there is a safety car if we get one tonight. But the incidents have been far and few between, and most of them have not caused cars to be completely destroyed, being able to limp back to the pits. So we haven't needed a caution period yet tonight. Greg Sharp's lining up. Damien Cairns here, looking for an overtake. Big look to the inside, but not close enough. Big thanks once again to our sponsors as well. See you joking. Good night, mate. Our sponsors, Bay 21 Coffee on the safety car. It hasn't been used yet tonight. Taipan Events, of course, SimSpec Engineering, and our big sponsor there, Quantum Tint Solutions. Big thanks to them. Troy Sipple and all the crew at Quantum Tint. Make sure you get behind them and support our sponsors. We'll run all the names across the top of the screen for you. I know people are tuning in to see competitors that are running down towards the back. Rue's in 28th place, still circulating. Don't forget, we've got live timing as well. RACESTARS TV.com. If you head over there, I'm just going to check it's actually still working before I start punching out some advertisements for it. But we do have a live timing room over on RACESTARS.tv.com, which will populate, and it is working. So I'm going to put that link up again in the both chats for anyone that's out there that's got a spare iPad or a spare screen they can put some data up on. It's always good to be able to watch where your favourite drivers are at all times, and all that information is sent live, including all the pit lane times, how much fuel they've put in the car, all that sort of stuff is sent live, and a live tracker map as well. I'll show you what it looks like. I'll flick it over onto my other screen. So as we see a move here live between Cairns and Greg Sharp, goes down the inside, gets it done. This is what I'm talking about. So if you head over to RACESTARS.tv.com, there's your live timing and your live tracker map, so you can see where everyone is at any point during the night. How cool is that? Technology. So the top drivers yet to make their second stop. The first driver that has made 2 stops is this man, Stuart Hall for Nova Motorsports. In a pretty good position tonight, battling with Nishiki here. This is for position, so we know Nishiki's had an up and down night tonight, but Stuart racing for position now as Varga McKnight and Damien Cairns come into the lane. So our top 10 are now starting to trigger some pit stops, and this is good. I'm going to enjoy this now. This is where it gets exciting. The last third of the race, like I said at the start, this is where the gloves come off and they start to really use 100% throttle. They use everything they've got now to fight it out. See how long these pit stops are too. So McKnight, who's in the lane, gets going, 13.1 seconds. Stephen Varga, 12.5. He jumped ahead and stays ahead of his teammate. Look in the background there, Nitschke And Stewie Hall still battling over that 18th and 19th place. So Stuart Hall's come out behind. Sorry, McKnight and Varga have come out in front of Stuart Hall. That's crucial. And I think some fuel savings gone on there. That's a great job by both Varga and McKnight. Now they've got to look at their teammate Christian Smart. He's currently 31 seconds up the road. That's where they want to be. When Smart comes into the pits, they want to be ahead of him, and then Mark Duggan's right there as well. Considering Mark Duggan has been through the pit lane for a drive-through penalty, he's still in P6. I tell you what, he would love a safety car as he comes into the lane. Let's watch the way he attacks his pit entry. Jeff Thomas in as well, just in front. You can see that down onto the limited now. And he bashes on that rev limiter. There's no smoke coming out of that helmet tonight. I think there was before. But quite a few drivers. Christian Smart's in the lane as well. You can see Christian just behind Duggan and Thomas. 999 goes straight through Thomas. No respect there. There's a good shot of the front end of Jeff Thomas's car. It's got a similar grille, the red and white to rear coasters. And Preston moves through into the top 11 now. He has only stopped once though, the Banter Alliance racing car, but he is the top Banter Alliance car tonight. Obviously with Paul Young not feeling well, he's out of tonight's race. So get well, Paul. Little battle going on here. We've got Christian Smart trying to find a way through. Now Goosey's involved in this as well, and then behind them we've got Jeff Thomas and Kennedy, and meanwhile Mark Duggan just in front. Now Stewart and McCune have just gone into the pits up the front, so their stop time is also crucial for where McKnight and Varga end up. So let's just have a look at this. Scotty McCune up on the jacks. Stewart's in there with him. A couple of teammates getting some fuel. Where is Stephen Varga? Just coming down the pit straight now. I think he's going to get him. It's going to be super close, and Varga goes through, McKnight goes through as well. Scott McCune is just leaving the lane, so both Varga and McKnight 8th and 9th ahead of, and Nishki's in there as well. He's only stopped once, but he's got himself back in the top 10. Scott McCune right behind him, and they fly through there. Oh, contact behind. McCune got a big hip and shoulder from Stuart Hall. Wow. Somehow McCune hung on to that. That was massive. How he didn't get speared off into the fence is beyond me. That was great recovery. But he won't be happy at all with that little bit of treatment. Scott McCune looking back at Mark Duggan's car. Wow. It's huge, wasn't it? Get a little look at that on a small screen replay from the onboard. That was big hit. So looking back, watch McCune here. So Nishki was in front. We'd look back from his car. There was the contact. Big hip and shoulder, and he gathered it up. Now Dumbrell's in the pits. Michael Dumbrell in for his final stop. And hey, we've got some people over on Twitch there. Hello, Henrik. Thanks for the nice comments. Welcome aboard. Tobias as well. Hello, we've got a few people on Twitch tonight. Nice to see you guys there. As Dumbrell takes a little bit of juice on board, some Coca-Cola, and now he's just watching his fuel up there. He's giving a little bit of a rev, and he gets going. So Dumbrell will come out. He's going to try and beat McKnight out here. This is going to be close. McKnight goes through, so the Synergy Sim racing drivers get through on him. Oh, he doesn't look happy either. You can see he's like, how have I lost out time to these guys? What's going on here? And so Dumbrell comes out just ahead of Stuart Hall and Scott McCune. We've got an HSR train happening down there behind the Synergy Sim racing train. And all in all though, let's not forget this man leading the race. Type N eSports Greg Favell looking in true form again tonight. Greg Sharp up in P2 hasn't stopped. Crosby, in fact, the top 4 yet to stop, but they have got themselves a 40-second lead over Stephen Varga. 44 seconds, in fact. That's huge. Will Wilson says putting his 4X in a Coke can like a professional streamer. I don't know if there's 4X in there. I reckon it'll be Coca-Cola. So Greg Sharp back 26 seconds. He's yet to stop. Our lead driver is this man here, Stephen Varga. And remember that Christian Smart was racing neck and neck with McKnight at one point. Now Smart's back in 11th. They've had their 2-stop strategies. You can see from the strategy board there. Varga, McKnight both stopped twice. Dumbrell has also stopped twice. That will update as he crosses the line this time through. And then Hall stopped twice. McCune, Duggan, Smart. They've all stopped twice now. Just the top 4. As Stephen Kennedy comes in for his final stop. How good's this little battle? Oh, McCune, was that McCune? Oh, we got a huge crash. Huge crash. There's about 3 or 4 cars off here, and Duggan's one of them.
Taking a look at that one.
And Christian Smart's another one. Just excuse the French that came through from a couple of the drivers there. Oh, big incident. We'll have to have a look at this one. That was huge, and it's taken some big names with it. So it was down into turn 1. Gee whiz. Let's have a quick look. I'll see if I can find that. It was Smart, McCune, and Duggan. We've got together. Here it is. Slow it down. We'll try and work. Oh, so McCuma's out of shape. We'll have to back this up and have a look at Scotty and see where it went wrong for him. It was a big impact. Let's take this back. So he already got a hip and shoulder, I think, from Stuart Hall. Watch this, Nova car. There's the first bit of contact between McCune and Hall. And it runs on from here. Watch in the background. We'll speed it up. McCune was out of control. He comes across, hits Duggan, then he hits Christian Smart, and then all 3 of them. See you later. They're off into the weeds. Look at Mark Duggan there. He was the one that blew up. He's like, not again, seriously. Huge. Let's go back to live. Thanks to everyone tonight tuning in too. We've had 100 messages over on YouTube. Absolute legends. As we see Greg Sharp leading this race. He has not stopped though. Greg Favell has stopped and he came out. What's the gap back to Stephen Varga? It's not a lot, is it? Look at this. So just when we thought Favell, oh, Varga's run very wide. McKnight, his eyes would have lit up when he saw that. And okay, this is on, you know. I actually thought we were going to see Greg Favell walk away with this. But it's all now panned out as McKnight looks down the inside of his teammate and is going to try and get through, and he does. McKnight goes through now up into what is effectively P2 once Greg Sharp stops. So Greg Favell leads this one by 1.5 seconds. Greg Sharp, he's ticking off some, you still got to say laps led, but without that second pit stop, he's still going to have to come in and probably lose about 20 or 30 seconds to the drivers behind, which will put him down around 7th or 8th position, I would say. So race leader goes through. As, oh, we've got an incident, have we, with Ty Byrne? No, we don't. Hanson, look at this grouping of cars now. We've got Dan Hall's in there. Stephen Banks is in the middle of this. You got Paul Preston around the outside on Matt Van der Kraan. So then we'll get the inside run. There's a biff going on in front between Hall and Hanson. And then he's just lit up the rear tyres there, Paul Preston. Through the final corner, needs a good exit. These cars that are jostling in front are hurting each other's corner exit speed. They're still making contact, those two. I think it's Dan Hall and Marty Hanson. Oh, look at this. Back to the inside. Marty Hanson has a big look down the inside, a big dive. Doesn't make contact, but that's let Dan Hall get a bit of an advantage, but he ran wide. Now he has another look to the inside. That'll hurt his corner exit. Stephen Banks might pounce on him here. Stephen Banks is right in behind and going for a run down this little back squirt towards the hairpin. Wowee. Some tough racing. Paul Preston with the elbows out as well. Needs a good exit out of here. Lap 41 of 54. Preston and Vanderkrans side by side now as Greg Sharp does come into the pits from the lead of this race. Let's jump on board with Vanderkrans fighting with Preston into the braking zone. Will he release the brake and send it down the inside? He thinks about it and then decides, nope, I'm just going to hold position for now. Good stuff. That's why we love the top split. How incredible is it? There's Tim Nicol with Darren Goosey. Scott Gamble's in behind there as well. Continuing this fight behind them, you've got Nitschke, then Kennedy, Sharp and Dean Favell. Then you've got Andrew Ritchie, another of the Banter Alliance cars, back in 30th place tonight. Brenton O'Brien's in the pits as well for his second and final pit stop. There's your race leader. He's been able to pull away from McKnight and Varga. How are the splits decided? The splits are decided pre-qualifying before the season starts. So I think from memory the top 20 from this split will get an automatic inclusion for season 12's top split, and the other 20 will need to qualify in. So we'll get some from split 2. And if you're quick enough from split 3, you will even get up there as well. So let's have a look at next year's calendar, by the way. I say next year, next season. It's just around the corner. It's kicking off season 12, 16th of June at Belle Isle, then Le Mans. Then we go to Oran Park, Laguna Seca. But I want to just accelerate down to the bottom of that list. The Nordschleife. 10 laps at the Nordschleife on August 18th. I cannot wait. I'm not sure my computer won't blow up that night. Seeing 40 or so V8 Supercars go around the Nordschleife for 10 laps, and I'm not sure I can handle it myself, but it's going to be the first time I've done that in a broadcast event. Cannot wait. It's going to be great. So Favell pulling a 3-second gap. Jack Knife says, I bet only 10 cars finish. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Varga. Oh, we got an NFA multi-car incident. No further action on that incident on lap 39. That's the one between McCune, Duggan and Smart. So interesting. I thought McCune may have got himself a slap on the knuckles for being the car out of control. But the multi-car incident, no further action. Which, Mark Duggan, I guess he's ready just to hang it up for tonight anyway, although he's still in there. Top 10 finish. Jeff Thomas in a battle here with Stuart Hall and Greg Sharp. Let's jump on board with Jeff Thomas for a moment as he lines up an overtake. Which way will he go? Goes to the inside. He'll go for the pass as well. Down the inside, I think. Watch out, because I was going to say Greg Sharp's right there as well. And he gets a lot of opposite lock and then fires it out of the corner. Job done. The JWM car up into P6 now. Excellent. Excellent work. So races motorbikes in the real world, and tonight he's doing a great job in the V8 Supercar, 650 horsepower, putting it to the ground, moving his way forward up 5 spots since the start of the race into P6. 44 laps done. We are now about to start the run 10 laps home, and Greg Favell in control through turn 1 he goes. McKnight P2, 3.7 seconds behind. Greg Sharp looking at lining up Stuart Hall for Nova Motorsports. It's a game on between these two. Down the inside he goes. He goes to the big overtake. Stuart Hall's already got damage on that left-hand side, on the right-hand side of the car, and he makes that look easy, and he gets himself through in the Penrite car up another spot. Greg Sharp now up into 7th. There's Stuart, there's McCune coming through 1 now. Shows how far back he is. 28 seconds off the lead of the race, Scott McCune. Dear me. Let's go through a few drivers with 10 to go down the back. We've got Rick Hoystra, Damien Cairns, sadly 31st position tonight. One of our RACESTARS TV driver cams, unfortunately, is outside of the top 30. He's just behind Brenton O'Brien, the Taipan eSports competitor, dropping 5 spots from where he started tonight. We go to up a little bit further. I want to just drop in and see how Michael Stewart's going. Of course, Michael Stewart, also another competitor that gives us full access and We get to see his driver camera as well, racing in the VR headset onto the pit straight, going through the gears. Just having a quick look at his telemetry. I think that's what the look to the left was. Down the shifts now into the first corner, and lap 45 of 54. We're an hour and 7, nearly an hour and 8 minutes into the race. These competitors have been pushing hard, and this is where you generally start to see a few little lapses in concentration, little mistakes being made, whether it be a slide or a spin. We're now beyond that hour and 8 minutes, and remember, these boys all over the age of 40. Probably starting to think about a toilet stop. Don't worry. Oh, Greg Sharp having a look on Jeff Thomas. Down the inside he goes. And Jeff, oh, it's going to be close between them. Sharp gets through. Jeff doesn't put up too much of a fight there. And the door was left open in a sense. So Jeff back now into 7th place. Sharp moves back up into 6th. Game on between these two. As I just saw, I think it was Scott McCune. Is he battling with... He's battling with Christian Smart. So this is the battle for 11th place. They can see Duggan up the road. He's now cleared out 7.6 seconds for that top 10 finish. Christian Smart v McCune on your screen. And it's been a tough race for a couple of these guys. Scott McCune in particular. That mistake has cost him probably a top 5 finish. He'll finish in P12, maybe one more place will be up for grabs towards the end, but it just doesn't look like McKnight and Varga and Dumbrell even have an answer for Greg Favell tonight. He's continuing to punch out lap times around the 1:29.2s. His best time tonight is a 1:28.5. Greg Favell, incredibly fast. You can see Crosby in the background there chasing Craig Friend. You got Ty Byrne, Dan Hall in behind with Muddy Hanson, Banks, Preston in the back of that little group. Vanderkran, then you look back further to Visma. Just coming through now. Goosey and Gamble are fighting their way down the pit straight. Nickel and Kennedy behind them. Then you got Nitschke. What an up and down race he's had tonight as we look back further. Shannon goes through them. Favell, Ritchie and O'Brien in that little grouping. And Brenton O'Brien rounds out your top 30. 30 drivers, just over a minute the gap between them. So this is our closest battle in the top 10. Jason Spriggs being chased down by Greg Sharp for Kota Sim Sports. So the gap now between them, 0.6 of a second. I can tell you in the last lap around, Greg Sharp was about almost 0.7 quicker. So Greg Sharp is eyeing off another position here. He wants a top 5 tonight. If you missed my earlier comments, Ben Anthony not feeling well. Shout out to him tonight. We wish you all the best, Ben. Get you back here soon. Right on board here with Greg Sharp, and just watch this run. I think he's about to try and push for an overtake here. So we'll jump down onto the nose camera. Just drop back a bit there. Didn't get a very good exit out of the corner. The Taipei eSports car fired out well, but he's late on the brakes. He'll close right up underneath the rear wing. That Blacktown Mazda Holden Commodore now. Funny little stat tonight, by the way. 6 Holden Commodores in the top 6. So it's a big line lockout tonight. And then you've got the first Ford Mustang. It's Jeff Thomas. So top 10 tonight, we've got 3 Mustangs, 7 Holden Commodores. So it's a big whitewash at the moment. McKnight will be happy to be back on the podium. 5.1 seconds the gap. You'd love a win, but I think this was the best he's going to get tonight, the 0.27. Leading his teammate. Steve doesn't seem to have an answer for McKnight's pace either. Once again, that lap around, it was about a 1/10 of a second between them in the favour of Jamie McKnight, lap 48 of 54. Big thanks to Dave Coleman tonight and James Chasty, who are in our race 1, split 1 race control, looking after this event. Over in split 2 tonight, you got Mitch Lockhart and Josh Dragg doing a great job as well. And then split 3, Dan Hayes and Martin Lofthouse. They're looking after the split 3 tonight. So thanks to all our race control drivers, race control admin that are looking after this and helping it run smoothly. Niski's off again, isn't he? So he's hit the fence. You can see the witness marks down there. He's had a big crash coming out of the final corner. Probably worth a look. Here it is. Onto the pit straight. He's going to just touch the outside here, is he? Up on the, yep, out onto the dirt. And does he keep it on? Oh, he just nails the front splitter on the fence. So a big moment there for Brenton to finish off what's been a pretty tough night in the office. So back to live, and we'll catch back up with our race leader. He's pulled half the straightaway now, 4.8 seconds. Disappearing, and we've got the Favell family still in the house because it looks like we're going to be talking to him again tonight if this keeps up. I don't want to jinx him, but his lap times, look at that. 4 tenths on lap 44, 4 tenths on lap 45, 3.5 tenths on 46, 3.5 on 47. It's only lap 48 where McKnight's been able to just sneak back a little bit of that time, but when you average out that gain across 5, 6, 7, 8 laps, he just continues to disappear into the distance. Now he's got a bit of lap traffic as well. Chris Barrage next up the road. You know, Duggan had an incident with him earlier in the race, so he's very, very careful. Leaves a lot of space. Greg gets on the race control channel and says, "Thank you very much, sir, for letting me sneak through there." Good sportsmanship, good racing all around tonight. Greg Sharp still can't get through on Jason Spriggs. It's the battle for 5th, and the final close battle we've got now, top 10. Apart from really Mark Duggan just trying to steal a place back from Stewart. Now remember, he's been in for 2 stops tonight plus a drive-through penalty. Mark Duggan, plus he's been off the road a second time with that incident. He's eyeing off maybe even getting to the top 8 if he can get past Stewart, and then also Hall, both those drivers. Now Stewart Hall's his teammate just up the road. I wonder if he's not just saying, hey, let's back him up a little bit, back Michael Stewart up so I can have a run at him. Get a look at this is the onboard camera now for Michael Stewart looking back. So there's Duggan behind, and then we look forward, there's Stewart Hall. So he's in a Nova Motorsport sandwich onto the pit straight, and he'll be well aware of that. And you're thinking, right, what's the sort of strategy are these two playing at with 4 laps to go? Balin Stewart Foundation, of course. Let's just take a moment to mention that while we're seeing Michael racing tonight, in memory of the tragedy of losing Balin Stewart earlier this year in that tragic fight between a couple of teenagers. And the Balin Stewart Foundation was set up not only in the memory of Balin, but also to try and prevent these sorts of things happening in the future. So please go check it out, Balin Stewart Foundation. I'll quickly flick you a link onto the chat as well, because it's definitely worth getting behind, and also just by doing so showing your support to the Stewart family. So the link's just been posted now in both YouTube, Twitch and Facebook for you to go and bookmark, and when you got some time, just take a moment to read. And Jamie McKnight was involved in something there. There's a big cloud of smoke down the pit straight. Now Rue Koistra's going slow. He's got some damage on the right. I reckon Rue's done a nitschke there, and I reckon he's hit that pit wall on the exit. Let's have a look. This is Koistra down through the final corner, and he's going to go wide. Exactly like Nitschke, bags up the rear tyres and almost a carbon copy into the fence. Now this is where I think the leaders come through. There goes Greg Favell. That's why we had a little bit of a comment, because McKnight also came through as Rue got himself back into gear and off on his way. And that's where Jamie McKnight came through on the inside, and Stephen Varga was next to come through, but they could see the big cloud of smoke in the background. So we're coming into the last few laps now. Greg Favell, 4.6 second, that margin pretty much staying neutral now as we see Preston and Banks for 17th, 18th and 19th. Sorry, Marty Hansen's in 17th. Banks 18th, Paul Preston all over the back now in the Ford Mustang of Stephen Banks. Preston in the new Banter Alliance racing colours, XPRA. They've joined forces with Emu Sim Racing to create this Banter Alliance racing team. And tonight he's the top VAR driver. And he would love an extra position or so here. Question's been made, will Dumbrell get Vargs? I don't think so, says Ben Anthony was the one who threw the question out there. I think the gap's 2.4 seconds, unless there's some fuel wizardry going on here. And Michael Dumbrell did take a lot of fuel, 22 seconds on his second stop. And you compare that to Stephen Varga, who only took 12.5. McKnight took 13.1. Greg Favell took 25. So the variance tonight in the fuel, that's for sure. Jamie McKnight's pulled a gap of a couple of seconds on his teammate now as well. So it looks pretty secure for a P2 for the People's Champion. Wave Runner Racing. Wave Runner Racing. Couldn't get that out tonight. Wave Runner Racing. The Wave Runner Racing Synergy Sim racing car.
Not sure, but could you check that incident on lap 51 if they think it's racing?
Andrew Ritchie. I didn't see that pop up. Race Control going to have a look at this. So let's have a look ourselves. Andrew Ritchie had some sort of incident. Lap 51. Let's have a look. The Banter Alliance car neck and neck with one of the Logitech cars there. The 26 is O'Brien, isn't it? And they made a little bit of contact there. So that's what the little call out was that we heard over on the channel there. Brenton O'Brien. Have one more look at that from maybe Brenton's perspective. Coming down into the corner. So here's the onboard with Brenton, wheel to wheel. Is there a slight lean on each other here? There it was there. So see how Race Control deem that one. All right, back to live as we count it down now. Penultimate lap of the race down the back straightaway. Greg Favell in control. The gap now 5.2. Okay. This is where everyone starts to get a little bit nervous, don't they, as far as is he saving fuel? Is he in a bit of trouble? That gap's come down a second in the last lap, a little bit more than a second. So I'm going to hold my breath here for a moment. I think we haven't seen the last twist and turn in this race. Jamie McKnight's got to clear this lap car. It's Chris Barrage who gets out of the way now. Says thank you very much. He gets through. So let's have a look at this. So Favell, he lost 3/10 on lap 51. He's lost 4/10 on lap 52. What is it this time over the line? McKnight in the background visibly close, and the white flag, 1 to go. He's going to lose, I reckon. We'll get an update as soon as McKnight crosses the line down the bottom of your screen there. There it is. McKnight. I apologise, he only took 3/100ths out of him. So the gap 5.2, I think we're all good for Greg Favell. His whole family's probably got very nervous when I said that. I think he's all good. Great racing, Jeff Thomas, says John Reynolds. Great to have you watching again tonight, John. And yes, top 10. Jeff Thomas tonight, P7 as we go through the final lap of this race. Scott Campbell's off the track. He's gone around, sadly, and that will drop him down another couple of positions as Jason Spriggs goes neck and neck here with Greg Sharp. Sharp down the inside and through the big sweeping hairpin. There's almost some contact. Sharp gets out just in front. Wow, this is close. Down the back straight we go. This is for position 5 between these two. A couple of Holden Commodores duking it out down into the hairpin. Who's going to come out in front? I tell you what, Jeff Thomas is keeping a very watchful eye on this in behind as well. You can sense maybe a couple of extra positions becoming available very, very soon. Greg Sharp comes out on top through there, but let's put your hands together tonight. He's only got a corners to go. The checker flag's going to wave. Greg Favell is going to be crowned the winner of tonight, round number 10 of the V8 Veterans season. And what a great performance that is. He takes the win. Greg Favell tonight ahead of Jamie McKnight. McKnight gets himself P2 ahead of Stephen Vargas. So Synergy Sim Racing, 2 drivers on the podium tonight. Dumbrell just finishes outside the top 3. He gets 4th tonight for Michael Dumbrell. Pit strategy probably didn't go his way, maybe. He's so close to a podium tonight, yep. And then it was Greg Sharp. He edges out Spriggs, Thomas, then Duggan. Gets himself up into 8th after all the things that happened tonight. That's a good performance ahead of Hall, then Stewart, Michael Stewart, that is 10th place. Christian Smart gets 11th. Scott McEwen, 12th. Friend, Crosby, Byrne, Dan Hall, 16th place tonight. Ahead of Hanson, Preston. And then you've got Banks and Vanderkrant to round out your top 20, but Greg Favell. 2 strong tonight. We're going to wrap it up shortly here, and we're going to have some interviews with the top 3 drivers. Don't go anywhere. That was V8 Veterans live on RACESTARS TV, round number 10. Greg Favell takes out the win.
Well done, top 3. Greg Favell for the win. James 2nd and Varg 3rd. Head up to the green room and have a chat with Luke. Everyone else, pretty good race there, a couple of incidents and want to look at post-race, but overall pretty well done by most people.
Race results about to come up on the screen now, thanks to iRacing, and there it is, Greg Favell, your winner tonight, 5.2 seconds in the end over Jamie McKnight, and Stephen Varga rounds out your top 3. Great performance. We'll head down to talk to them in a second, but as you can see down the list of drivers, some championship names in there that have lost out a little bit tonight. Some have gained some spots. Nitschke coming back tonight, 29th. He'll be wishing he could have got a little bit further up than that one, sadly, but all in all, good racing. Let's go down to the comm booth now and see if we can't find ourselves some drivers. It'll take some seconds to come in. They're probably all grabbing a drink and a couple of last minute little things. So I pad a little bit of time and fluff about it just to pretend that I know what I'm doing here. We've got Jamie standing by for a second. We'll just wait for our race winner to come in first of all before I flick him over in for the chat. They're taking their time tonight, so how good does that Type N eSports car look though? He got himself another win, and he's flying the flag well for that team, isn't it? Since moving across, 76 Racing, the Abby Timbers car, it's a thing of the past now, isn't it? Because it'll always be in our memories though, the Abby Timbers, but now in the new colours. He's taken himself another win tonight. Greg Favell, congratulations my friend, up on the top step of the podium for round number 10. Well done.
Don't have to rub it in, another win, bloody hell.
Another win.
Yeah.
Well, it's too good, mate. Too good. 5 seconds in. You can't.
That he is.
Take our hats off, mate. Well done.
Welcome, Greg, mate. Well done tonight. It was an interesting one. We had a mixture of strategies going on, and a late stop for you with only 3.9 seconds in the lane. In the end, you got it well done.
Greg. Unmute your mic, buddy. You're muted.
Is that what it is? Do I need to unmute?
Yeah, no, it's good now.
No, I couldn't get a word in, so I thought I'd mute myself.
Oh, bullshit. You're doing a in your bum.
Yeah, no, I got lucky there. My crew chief shut down at the last pit stop, and I ended up with 10 laps more fuel than I needed. So, yeah, unlucky to Mark Duggan. Mark Duggan was quick all week. He probably deserved the win tonight, so very unlucky to him, and I hope he gets a bit more luck.
He had a bad luck run tonight with it wasn't a lap car, so I keep saying a lap car, but it wasn't a lap car. It was for position. May have been a little bit more patient, but that's motor racing, and that little bit of contact cost him a drive through. But Greg, all in all, man, consistent laps once again. I thought for a lap to go there, you might have been in fuel trouble and you lost a little bit of time, but just too quick.
I was just managing that gap, trying to keep it 5 seconds to Jamie. Didn't want to blow an engine again, and just wanted to get home.
Great job tonight. And Jamie, good job up 7 spots, man, to P2. Back on the podium, but yeah, you're making yourself work for it these days. 7 positions up into second.
Well, you said it, mate. Yeah, I'll make myself work hard. I mean, people out there in the audience probably think I'm doing it for fun, but I'm not. I'd much rather start on the front row with Greg, and I think tonight his race pace was really, really good, but I could have given him at least a run, I think, for the first third of the race if I had started closer to the front. But his pace on the opening laps and then the last couple of laps of the stint. I've got to look into his data a little bit, I think, because he's so good. Like, you know, that's where he pulls that 1 or 2 seconds, and I just think to myself, if his engine doesn't blow, I'm fucked here. So when his engine doesn't blow, yeah. When his engine doesn't blow, he's too good for me at the moment, and I'm going to have to dig deep and practice a little more. But well done, Greg. Great admiration for your driving, mate. You've come a long way, and yeah, all the best to you. And Steve and I had a great battle. So did Christian and I at the start of the race, my teammate, and it was all fair. Mark Duggan and I had a pretty saucy little battle too when he came out of the pits after his drive-through.
Yeah, we saw that.
Yeah, I think I frustrated him a bit because he was a bit faster, but then he made a little mistake, and I got that second on him, and that gave me the breathing space. But really tonight was down to Mr. Varga's strategy. I just followed him. Whatever he did, I was going to do. And he went in, and I was thinking, it's too early. But in the end, he was right. We got a massive undercut, and great job, Steve. Well done to you, buddy.
Well, question for Steve, though, for P3 tonight. But, Steve, I'm looking at the data on your second pit stop. It was 7.7 seconds versus 3.2 for Jamie. Is that correct, that data?
Nah.
It's not right?
I was 13.3, and Steve was 12.5. So I was 0.8 of a second longer.
Okay, yeah, so the data's wrong on mine then.
Yeah,
so, right. But interesting race for you, Steve. Obviously had some good battles there, up 2 spots into third. Anything you would have done differently if you did it again?
Oh, I contemplated pitting opening lap, and I thought, well, kind of going to kill me for the rest of the race. I'm going to have to do 2 stints and on pretty old tyres, so I'll just do what the guys up the front did, and they pitted, and I thought, well, I don't want to pit just yet. I'll just run the fuel tank out. I'm so close, so I might as well, and that's what I did.
I like this new fueling arrangement that you've got, because it does give us a little bit more variance now in the pit strategies between the drivers. So it's great, yeah. It's mixing it right up, isn't it?
Much prefer it than all pitting at the same time, just so you can make the end of the race. It was just, that was a bit boring in the end. So no, this is a much better, I reckon.
Yeah, great. Yeah, great job. And a shout out to Michael Dumbrell, too, up 9 spots into 4th. And Greg Sharp drove well tonight for 5th as well, up 10 spots. So
well done, Greg.
So good progress for those drivers in the top 5. Let's do thank yous, and we've got to wish Ben Anthony to get well as well, because he's not very good. But starting off first of all tonight, Greg, who would you like to thank for your win?
Yeah, thanks Ben Anthony. I hope you get well, mate. He doesn't sound like he's real well at the moment. So
struggling, yeah.
Yeah, we'll thank Blacktown Mazda, Blacktown City GWM Haval, Too Easy Finance, Simrigs, SimSpec Engineering, Card FX, Sideways Photography. Thank all the race control and all the guys that do the hard work behind the scenes, Jamie and his setups, and congratulations, Jamie and Bugs.
Great.
Thanks, buddy.
Great job. And then Jamie, P2 tonight, who would you like to thank, man?
Well, I'd like to thank DG Customs, Wave Runner Performance Centre, Smith & Sons, DGD, Dophoto, DM Simtography. I'll have to learn that one. It's a Dog's Life, West End Mazda, Too Easy Finance, Posse's Engineering, and anybody else that JK Signs, Smith & Sons, obviously, and ALC, so Newlon as well. Thank you very much for our sponsors, and thank you to my competitors tonight. Great
job. And Stephen, you want to rattle them off again, mate? Who would you like to thank for P3?
Yep, let's go ahead. Well, thanks. Ben Anthony, Race Control, self.
McKnight for his setups.
Yeah, I was going to get there. McKnight for the setups, Quantum Tint Solutions, Wave Runner Performance, DGD Custom, SSR, Race Team, Newline, DO Photo, DM Simtography, DGD Custom, Aussies, JK Signs,
done well, mate.
West End Mazda, Too Easy Finance, It's a Dog's Life.
It's a Dog's Life, love that one.
Yeah, it's good.
And Smith & Sons.
Yep. And I want to say thanks to Troy Quantum Tintin too. I always forget to acknowledge him. Troy does a fabulous job supporting the series. Well done, buddy. Get your Quantum Tint.
That's it. Excellent drive tonight, Greg Favell, your winner for round 10. We've got 2 rounds to go, and they're going to be exciting as well. So 2 rounds to go in the championship. Greg Favell, well done tonight with the win. Jamie, P2, and Stephen, P3. Well done.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers, guys. That's it for tonight. So thanks to our top 3 for coming in for a chat. And Greg Favell, too strong. Fantastic. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, we hit Split 2 broadcast off the replay file. So tomorrow night, put that in your calendars. Come along, hang out. It should be fantastic. Big thanks tonight to Brenda, Deborah, Christine, Andrew, Maddie, Paul, and Keith for the stars. You guys are legends. Until next time, I'm Luke. This is RACESTARS TV. I'll catch you on the flip side. Good night.